I want to build the world's biggest Tamagotchi because I have a huge sense of nostalgia for this 90s toy and I love creating things that amaze people. Tamagotchi was released in 1997 when I was just 6 years old. My grandma gave me my Tamagotchi for Sinterklaas, a traditional Dutch holiday which resembles Christmas. Way down the road I bought these on flea markets when nobody else wanted them anymore. I have these 4 Tamagotchis to choose from to model the big one after, but I like this one the most. I don't know, there's something about the blue and yellow color scheme that just really stands out to me. So how do you normally play with this toy? Well, there's 3 buttons to press to navigate the menus. And there you can clean the Tamagotchi when it poops, play with it when it's bored, turn the light off when it's sleeping, and cure it when it's feeling ill. Just because you own it, it's now your duty to raise the Tamagotchi into a strong, independent, well-functioning adult. And if you mess up, it will die! That's why I built a camera-based caretaker robot in one of my previous videos. I will port the software also to our big Tamagotchi, so we will have a switch to take care of it automatically. Okay, let's open up this 28-year-old toy and take a look inside. The processor and all that stuff are below the screen, but I don't want to take the screen off. Did you know there was a lens in here? I used the Tama tool project by Jay Krona to emulate the Tamagotchi, and I want to use this small computer called a Raspberry Pi to run this software on. By connecting it to Wi-Fi, I can use a tool called VNC to control and display the Raspberry Pi on my PC, phone or tablet. This makes it a bit easier to develop software, though I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back a little bit. Since you can also run this tool on a Windows computer, I figured I'd just buy an old laptop and run the software on there. However, I learned we need a square screen, otherwise it will never fit into the shell. We have to make the choice. Are we going to 3D scan this actual Tamagotchi and scale it up? Or am I just going to 3D model something that looks most similar to it? I think it would be fun to try 3D modeling. I'll photograph the Tamagotchi from 3 different sides. And then I can use these pictures to trace the Tamagotchi in my CAD software. Ooh. 3D Connection was kind enough to send me the Space Mouse wireless to try out. Moving the mouse feels like you're really holding your CAD design in your hand. No more jerky movement, no more clunky keyboard combinations to move the camera. I fully recommend this product to anyone who regularly works with CAD software. Just for fun, I 3D printed my CAD design. I like it. Now here's what we'll put inside the big Tamagotchi. 1 Raspberry Pi 3, then on top we click this modular screen. This one costs $60, which is a lot of money for such a small screen, but we need a square screen, unfortunately. On the bottom we connect a battery module. Now we put everything together and then we get a very big stack. I calculated all the proportions and it should fit in a big Tamagotchi shell if we clip some of the connector pins. So this is completely wireless. I've installed the Tama tool project onto the Raspberry Pi. So I looked into the documentation and I found something where I could just type in window full screen and ta-da, now it runs in full screen. I've never done anything like this, going to GitHub and changing a project and then compiling it. Time to add the speaker and the buttons. Thanks to Evnersy for sending me this multimeter. Really useful for checking out the way the buttons are wired. After some soldering, it's time to test the speaker. Okay, it does work, but it's really quiet. Maybe I bought the wrong speaker or a software change is needed because the volume is at 100%, but it feels like 10%. My quick fix was to just amplify everything out of the Raspberry Pi with 700%. And now everything is a lot better. Now let's test our buttons. Check this out. Somehow it's not working anymore. Somehow it only works for a little bit after you start the Raspberry Pi. So some part of the operating system is stealing the focus away from our application. I spent hours, and I mean hours, trying to fix this. And at the peak of my desperation, I added a delay, so the Tamagotchi would start up 20 seconds after the desktop had loaded. This worked, and this is what we're going to have to live with. And then it was time to port the automatic caretaker that I had built before to this new Tamagotchi. However, my Wi-Fi connection was giving me trouble. And then I found out my Raspberry Pi doesn't have enough memory to do what I want to do with it. So I added some new Wi-Fi routers to my network, and then I bought a new Raspberry Pi. But somehow on this new system, the sound wasn't working anymore for the Tamagotchi. And again, I tried everything to fix it. I couldn't just give up. I mean, sound is such an integral part of the Tamagotchi experience. And then I realized, oh no, I think I might understand why the sound didn't work. If you press these two buttons together, you can turn off the in-game sound. But wouldn't I remember if I turned off the in-game sound? Yes, I would. However, I made a programming error, which caused a lot of extra button clicks without my knowledge. Oh, why am I so dumb? Okay, with all of that out of the way, I built a system which saves the game every 10 seconds and loads it when you start the program. Then I adjusted the source code of the automatic caretaker, removing any servo references and rescaling some of the images and processing, while fixing some bugs along the way. Sometimes the user interface didn't open correctly. I had to implement window switching between the caretaker and the emulator and adjust the thresholding of the vision application. But after all that, we have the automated caretaker working on this big Tamagotchi. It simulates button presses on the Tamagotchi for us. You might be wondering why it's been so long since my last video, but I moved houses and now I have a nice studio room and a nice workshop room. Also, making the video you're watching right now took me a huge amount of time. Both the making of the Tamagotchi itself, but also making all these animations and editing for this video. I really hope you like this one. Remember earlier when we looked inside the Tamagotchi and I told you the processor and the other stuff was under the screen? I want to share some amazing facts about the hardware with you and show some hacking, but first we need to get through the basics. Inside the Tamagotchi is a CPU. This does all the calculations for the game. The CPU is connected to the ROM, and this is the actual logic of the game, the program. And a quick technical distinction, this is not the source code, this is the machine code. So how did they obtain this for the Tamagotchi? As it turns out, there is a process called chip decapping. It's a very advanced process, but you remove the protective covers from the integrated circuits, and then you can look inside like it's a big city. And if you search in the right spot on this chip, you will find the machine code for our Tamagotchi. I believe every blip or not blip is actually a 1 or a 0, but maybe there's an expert who can explain better in the comments. Final important part is the RAM memory. This is where the game state lives. Maybe this number represents if the light is on or off, and these three numbers could be the Tamagotchi age, so in decimal this would be 5 years old. And maybe some of the other numbers are the clock or the happiness meter or stuff like that. However, the problem is we don't know where to look. We have this big bag of numbers and we know there's some cool stuff in there which makes us play God, but we don't know where it is. But we're about to change all that. After this word from our sponsor, PCBWay. Low prices at PCBWay. Get your PCB now. Ordering couldn't be easier and you get an instant quote for your PCB. If PCBs aren't your thing, which would be crazy, you can also let them 3D print or CNC stuff for you. Thanks for sponsoring this video, PCBWay. Now let's get back to figuring out that RAM memory. Okay, Jens, what time is it?
It's time to start hacking.
I've changed the in-game clock a bunch of times. For each change, I saved the game's memory to a new file. Then I'm comparing two different files, where the clock is the only thing that changed. Marked in red are the differences between the files. The only difference should be the time, right? Well, there's a lot more stored in RAM than just the things that we're interested in. An internal clock, internal calculations, and the state of all the pixels on the screen, for example. And then I remembered the built-in RAM viewer from this project. All those numbers on the left are the entire memory of the Tamagotchi game. And by just looking at it for a while, I actually found the seconds counter. And short after that, I found the hours and minutes. Together with ChatGPT, I modified the source code of the emulator so it would get the system time when you open the emulator and then synchronize the Tamagotchi in-game clock with the real time through RAM memory editing. This is my first time working together with ChatGPT so intensively for a project. And it's certainly not perfect, but it's a very useful tool. And now it works. Every time we start up our Tamagotchi, it's synced with an online clock. So the in-game clock is never off, unless you're not close to Wi-Fi. Okay, so in the previous approach, we changed one thing, the clock. And then we took note on how we changed the clock. But what if we change a whole bunch of things and then take careful notes of the exact state of the Tamagotchi? Then for each state, we have one file for the RAM memory and one file to describe the state of the Tamagotchi at that moment. Here is the stuff that we're keeping track of. Now I feed the Tamagotchi, then I save the RAM state, and then we create a new file. So we keep creating sets of files, data points. Then me and ChatGPT wrote a Python script to see if we could find patterns between the state of the Tamagotchi and specific memory locations. Here we compare each RAM state where the hungry stat has changed. We marked each memory location that changed and only keep those that overlap. Then we have just two candidates for where this property is hiding in memory. location 48 and location 64. For location 48 there's no logical relation between the values in memory and what we wrote down. But for location 64 we can see that the amount of hungry hearts is internally represented with a number between 0 and 15. So our understanding of the memory map of the Tamagotchi is getting more and more clear. Now we can have some fun with it and, for example, let the Tamagotchi poop itself. Here we see the Tamagotchi with 1 poop, which is shown in this memory location. Now we switch it out to 8, load our save state, and kapow! Poop everywhere! So through our previous approach, we can now manipulate a whole load of stuff, like the discipline bar and the happiness and all that stuff. And now I start changing memory values that lie nearby the ones that we already discovered to see what the hell would happen if I would change those. This segment is mostly meant for people who already know what's possible and what is not within the realm of Tamagotchi, because this is crazy stuff, but if you don't know what can normally happen, it's not that crazy, I guess. Sometimes the Tamagotchi just slowly broke down. Sometimes it just got a nasty noise.
I love that noise.
Then there's the new Michael Jackson Tamagotchi. And the egg is eating bread? This is crazy! With all my newfound knowledge, I can do almost anything with this Tamagotchi. And I've decided to build a torture button. Because if you can build anything that you want, why not build a big Tamagotchi with a torture button on the back? And that should be all the electronics and software. Now that we know the size of the electronics, we can build a final shell and print a prototype. Turns out spherical objects are really difficult to print because of all those overhangs.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really sweet.
So are we actually building the world's biggest Tamagotchi here? It depends how you look at it. There are certainly bigger Tamagotchi demo pods out there, but they're not playable. The Deca Tamagotchi is, and it was used in stores. I'm pretty sure this one is bigger than our project. However, it's not even portable. It's mounted in the store. So can we really call that a Tamagotchi? And then there's the home version of the Deca. However, this one seems a bit smaller than the store version. I think it's smaller than our project. So what do you guys think? Are we building the world's biggest Tamagotchi here or not? This prototype was too small to hold the screen in the right spot, so again I revised the design.
Fine. That's really cool. Torture button. Okay, that also works.
But can you believe it? More issues with the design. You spot a few each iteration and you miss a few each iteration. So back to the drawing board. And then it's time for the final prints. At first I had some bad adhesion problems and general failed prints. But after retuning for this new filament, it printed really well. And for this project we're using the Kexelt filament, sponsored by BL3D, for sale at bl3d.nl. Thanks for sponsoring this video, BL3D. I decided to print the bottom shell in this orientation to overcome some of the overhangs. And for the top I added some pads for better bed adhesion. I really don't like the amount of waste we're getting from this two-color print. While cleaning some traces of supports, I noticed I needed to retighten the Dremel bit. Little did I know what was going to happen. So at this point everything looks okay. But at this point I realized I had fucked up.
Jesus. Holy fuck. Okay. That just really fucking sucked.
I used the entirely wrong bit holder and I learned valuable lessons. It's interesting this would happen because I do regard myself as one of the more safety-oriented people. Yet this is certainly not the first case something like this happens to me.
Ooh, why do I do that?
Maybe that's the only way I'll learn. Anyway, I really hate it when stuff like this happens.
Fuck, what did I just say? Oh. I am really fucking stupid. Okay, well, I should deal with this.
For the front buttons I wanted to use a spongy rubber-like material. However, the TPU I chose is not compatible with my material system. I figured I'd try it anyway. Nothing is being pushed out of the print head. Lucky for me, I'm really good at shoving things down holes. Or I like to think that I am. Okay, this isn't working. Let's try the recommended method, using the external spool holder. I think I made the buttons a bit too big. Alright. Yeah, that seems all good. That's nice. Oh.
The charging port needed a little bit of glue. And then we were done.
Let's see if this works. Ooh. Wow. I did it.
I did it! As a final touch, I added the chain, scaled to the big size of this Tamagotchi. And before I can show you the end result, we have something more important to do. We have the ROM for the Tamagotchi, but not the source code. And this is because for decades, Tamagotchis have kept their code a secret. But today I have a plan. With this red button, I will break its spirit and we will extract the truth.
Oh no, it's so dark. I'm so scared. Is this supposed to hurt? Wow, that was pathetic. Wait, what just happened? I feel so empty. Did I just... Wait, why am I someone else? This isn't me. Stop it. I don't even know who I am anymore. This is some kind of nightmare. Huh? Wait, I'm a baby again?
Well, this is it. You broke me.
Happy now? Oh, come on. This is just rude. Wait, maybe we can talk about this. I don't feel so good.
Phew, that was a bit dark. Please enjoy these shots of the final build and how it works. If you got curious about the robotic Tamagotchi caretaker that I built in a previous video, I put a link to that at the end of this video, so you can watch that video next. And thanks so much for watching. These builds are the most fun because I have people like you going along with me on the adventure. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help the channel, you can drop a comment down below. Okay, until next time.